Both Abraham Lincoln and Adlai Stevenson are credited with the phrase, "It's not the years in your life that count, but the life in your years." Regardless of who first said it, many people are living it, growing bolder as they get older. Our jumping off point today looks at people who give new meaning to the word retire. Age doesn't keep them from lending a hand.
I can immerse myself in this library and you don't think about anything else when you're doing something you love. And I think a lot of my volunteers feel that way also.
From there, we look at the must-see, must-do, young or old. Everyone has their own Mount Everest.
Alaska was particularly unusual because it's so far away. It's 5,000 miles from here. And then there's all those glaciers in the summertime. And Alaska's outstanding, really.
Plus, putting life in balance. A Naples man wrote the book, a primer to help seniors stay strong.
So what I did was write a very simple 10-week program that takes people from beginner to expert and gives you pictures and descriptions and takes you step by step.
We'll have those stories along with the latest in our Positively Healthy Medical series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Moving to Florida to enjoy their golden years is only the beginning for many of our older residents. Time and time again, people come here to retire and end up picking up a new passion. So this is the library.
This is the library, and when we first started planning for it, I looked at the blueprints and I said, okay, what's the most popular? The most popular, of course, is fiction.
Her knack for cracking the books is something Sid Mellinger's never lost.
The library was my background. I have my advanced degree and I spent time in various libraries.
Her resume makes for good reading, once holding research and librarian jobs on Wall Street in the greater Chicago metro.
We mark new books, and people, of course, head for this right away. James Patterson is always a very, very popular writer, and he's got 5 books on this shelf.
Now at age 86, Sid leads an all-volunteer staff in the community library at V at Bentley Village.
Personally, it has helped me through a difficult period when my husband died. I can immerse myself in this library and you don't think about anything else when you're doing something you love. And I think a lot of my volunteers feel that way also.
The Bentley Village Library boasts about 35 resident volunteers, most in their 80s, with the exception of one lady who turned 100. Together, they're Sid's second hands.
All of these volunteers, to my knowledge, very few of them have ever worked in a library.
I greet people, see if they have any special needs, check out books, reserve books, check-in books, and just have a good time. It's a wonderful volunteer job.
They share a love of books and pursue their passion with purpose.
I have volunteered all my adult lifehood. I have received so much. I always want to try and give back.
You're kind of the front entry point for all the books here?
Yes, that's right. They come in from the wholesaler and I unpack them and check them against Sid's order list to make sure they're what we ordered. This is Ramona. Ramona inputs all of the books into the computer.
So there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you would guess at a library.
Oh yes, there's a lot. And also one of the other things I do is track the overdue books. They usually turn up under somebody's couch or something like that. In some odd spot, somebody will find the book.
So are you vigilant about collecting those fines?
Oh, we don't have any fines.
Sid's operation runs like a well-oiled machine. Professional, yes, but it's also personal.
To take it from my age, socialization is very, very important. And believe me, there's socialization in the library.
More than half the community's 700 residents are card-carrying book borrowers.
Sometimes they just come in and want to talk, and that's fine too.
Never has the library felt like work for me. I'm a bookaholic. I love books, and I always have.
It's enough to warm the heart of a retired librarian.
Well, I've always said that yes, we may be in the computer age, but that does not mean that we are burning books. Books will always be with us, and libraries have proven that.
Just like there will always be people willing to lend a hand. The phrase bucket list is used for just about everything, from places to travel, foods to sample, books to read, adventures of a lifetime. All things you don't want to miss. Put another way, YOLO.
My name is Ron, and this is my wife.
And my name is Pete, or I go by Pete, it's Priscilla. The very first one was Alaska. We were in Homer, Alaska, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Actually, it's a national wildlife refuge, which is the Aleutian Islands. It was a wildlife refuge, but it was very difficult to get to. It's almost impossible. You had to really want to go. The park actually took us to Kodiak Island to visit that part. That one was available because it was only a 13-hour ferry ride, that's all.
But we went from there. The following year, we went to Calais, Maine, to again a wildlife refuge. But this one, we had maybe 6 visitors a day. And
they had it's very unusual birds, and they had lots of bears and deer and that kind of stuff. It's actually right on the river, and the river is the border between Canada and the United States, actually. From Maine, we went to Fort Vancouver in Washington State.
And that was an old fort that was still partly a military base, but they were closing down the military base.
Well, the fort itself was not, obviously no longer there. It was a wood fort originally, so they rebuilt it, replica, and then they had different buildings they had, and one of them was the Indian trade shop. And so I would go in there twice a week, I think, 2 days a week I think I spent.
We were at Great Sand Dunes in Colorado. We were in Sleeping Bear Dunes in Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's a really nice one. We were over in Oregon again in a lighthouse. Had to climb up the lighthouse, and I stayed at the bottom, and you send so many people up and so many people come down.
They're parks because they're all unique.
Yeah,
and,
really unique.
So they're all very nice, really. There's none that was bad in any way. Yeah. But no, well, Alaska was particularly unusual because it's so far away. It's 5,000 miles from here. And then there's all those glaciers in the summertime. And Alaska is outstanding, really, as an area. That should be on everybody's bucket list.
Alaska was the one that just sold us on the whole idea of volunteering. It's just a wonderful treasure for anybody in this country to go to. To all of the parks are just beautiful.
If it wasn't that you kept national parks, eventually the whole country would be built up. We go to national parks that have a place for our motorhome. So they provide us with a place to keep the motorhome. And so we volunteer our time for 3 months usually.
You also have to be a national park person. You have to be somebody who's visited national parks.
Or enjoys to visit.
On a regular basis.
We're good for a few more years anyway. We want to make 10 at least. We've only got 9 now.
Striking the right balance is extremely important for quality of life, especially as we age. Falls are the leading cause of injury deaths in older Americans, but a Naples man is doing his best to prevent danger underfoot.
It's a balance exercise. Stand on one foot. You've got to be what we call contralateral, opposite.
I've recently published a book called Balance University, and this is a program, it's a 10-week program that teaches people how to balance and improve their balance. So what I did was write a very simple 10-week program that takes people from beginner to expert and gives you pictures and descriptions and takes you step by step the entire way.
When we come back, a Rough Rider may be calling it quits. At 41, a rodeo cowboy is about to ride off into the sunset. That story is up after the break.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
Savor the Naples culinary scene with Scott Conant, restaurateur, author, and judge of Food Network's Chopped at the Paradise Coast Wine and Food Experience at Cambier Park in downtown Naples on Saturday, October 27th. For tickets, visit wineandfood.naplesnews.com.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom-designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida, and now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now, 2 locations to serve you.
Staying active is one of the best things you can do for your health, but not taking proper precautions could derail your effort. In this week's Positively Healthy, we're breaking down your workout goals. All too often, the desire to jumpstart a fitness routine comes crashing down. Our good intentions turned inside out.
And typically what happens is people will go very hard, very fast, and oftentimes a little too fast and end up with injuries or joint pain.
Our vulnerable joints end up bearing the brunt of our overactive ambition, says board-certified orthopedic surgeon Brian Hanipsiak.
We see that all the time in orthopedics, and in fact January and February are oftentimes our busiest month thanks to all the New Year's resolutions.
It's the knees, hips, even low back that feel it most, especially as we age.
Our joints wear over time, and the cartilage, which lines the end of the bones, wears off with continual use. Loss of cartilage in a joint is referred to as arthritis. And so typically the most common things we see are overuse injuries to the muscles and tendons, as well as arthritis flare-ups in the joints from overuse.
Here's a few suggestions to start your new routine off on the right foot. First, begin with a plan.
Start small and build progressively on your exercise program. So in other words, don't go out and run the half marathon, but start with long walks, build into short jogs to longer jogs.
And be protective of your joints when you choose exercise equipment.
Typically what we like to do is start with either the elliptical or the exercise bike, which does bear a part of your weight and has smooth joint motion, which is not jarring to the joints such as the knees and the hips.
If you have pre-existing arthritis or old injuries, a pre-workout consult may save you from suffering.
What we'd like to do is help patients to understand their limitations, design exercise program around those limitations, but also to treat any injuries they have or that may arise during the exercise program.
As for that no pain, no gain gym mantra, forget about it. If you're hurting, give your body a break.
I think if you have an acute injury that stops you from doing the things that you like to do and it's not getting better after a few days, it's a good time to see a physician. The reason is many of the latest treatments we offer are available for acute intervention or early intervention in the disease process. When you let things go too long, you can miss the window on treatment.
If you resolve to work out smart, you'll end up getting the most out of your workouts. The frailty of human life, especially that of a law enforcement officer, is being keenly felt in Southwest Florida. The death of Fort Myers police officer Adam Jobbers Miller is a painful reminder. Tom Hayden with the News Press has this week's commentary.
The Southwest Florida community hurts today with the passing of Fort Myers police officer Adam Jobbers Miller. It hurt when 5 other Fort Myers law enforcement officers were killed in the line of duty Jobbers Miller was just trying to do his job July 21st when he was allegedly shot in the head by Windsor Desmarais near the Marathon Service Station on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Fort Myers. From the time he was shot to his passing Saturday, there were some encouraging signs that he was holding his own, even though his condition was always listed as critical but stable. Jobbers Miller had dedicated his life to public service. He was a volunteer firefighter in New Jersey prior to joining the Fort Myers Police Department. He feared nothing, said John Gabriel, his former fire chief in New Jersey. His family, as well as many of his colleagues and friends, will no doubt share stories this week about Jobbers Miller and his life. They will talk about what he was like as a child, how important public service work was to him, his courage and his heroism for putting on that uniform every day, the thrill of sharing his knowledge, his personality and passion with the community, the satisfaction of making an arrest that removed a criminal and danger from the streets. Far too many law enforcement officers have died in the line of duty in recent years. Since January, 54 law enforcement officers across the U.S. have died while on duty, 33 by gunfire. In 2017, 129 officers died after 135 were killed in 2016. Jobbers Miller was an officer for about 4 years. He was only 29 years old with a promising future. Every day a law enforcement official wakes up, slips on a uniform, puts on a protective vest, and attaches a weapon. There is always a chance that day could be the final one. Officers know that. They know that when they approach a car, stop for a simple traffic violation, or responding to what appeared to be a simple call of a report of theft of a cell phone, as was the case with Jobbers Miller. As Jobbers Miller is remembered, Desmarais sits in a Lee County jail cell accused of killing the officer. He was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of first-degree murder, among many other charges. He is being held without bond. We know that 10 years ago, after a Fort Myers police officer, Andrew Widman, was shot and killed, how the community responded, in a big way, to his life. The same thing is happening for Jobbers Miller. The community already was pulling together with Jobbers Miller was in Lee Memorial Hospital, giving more than $74,000 to a GoFundMe account. Other local businesses have conducted numerous fundraisers, and blood donations have overwhelmed Lee Health Blood Centers. Saturday was painful when Fort Myers Police Captain Jay Rodriguez spoke the words we never wanted to hear. We lost him. Loss of life is never easy, especially for one sworn to protect it. Now we can remember who Jobbers Miller was and continue to come together as a community. We can also make sure our elected leaders and other federal, state, and community officials continue the dialogue and find ways to curb the violence, assess the state of our mental health programs and facilities, and find answers and help for substance abusers and those with severe behavioral health issues. The memorial service for Jobbers Miller is Monday at Germain Arena.
It's the kind of life they write about in songs. A bull rider broken and bruised getting back in the saddle. But at least one of them may be riding off into the sunset. The professional bull riders touring pros made a 2-day stop at Germain Arena last weekend. James Kellerman covered this story for the Daily News. Among the 30 or so bull riders was Florida native Ricky Ringer, a rodeo champ. He claims he's throwing in the towel soon. This comes after more than 25 years competing in the ring and countless broken bones. Retiring is something Ringer's talked about for years. At 41, he says he feels more like 90. It's all part of the cowboy life, and we've captured it in pictures. Check out all the action on Ringer and the Big Bull competition at naplesnews.com. Our news crews are working hard to bring you the latest happenings in Southwest Florida. Here's a preview of what they're covering on the beat.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, I'm Shelby Reynolds. I'm the food reporter at the Naples Daily News. This week I worked on a story about raw oysters and the risks associated with eating them. Oysters harvested from the Gulf this time of year have a higher risk of including a bacteria that's harmful to people with liver disease and other illnesses. So I talked to a few local restaurants about steps they take to keep their seafood fresh and safe. Read more about it online at naplesnews.com.
Hi, my name is Brittany Carloni, and I'm a reporter at the Banner and the Naples Daily News. This week, I attended a meeting in Bonita Springs of local fishing charter captains who have expressed concerns about water quality and red tide. Read more about how red tide is impacting them in Saturday's edition of The Banner and online at naplesnews.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm a features reporter here at the Naples Daily News. This past week I sat down with an alt-rock band called Perfect Sequence. They perform all across Southwest Florida with big plans to tour statewide in the future and maybe even across the country. The 4 band members actually met on Craigslist, which is funny enough, and they've been successful together, creating several music videos, including their latest, which came out in July, called Awaken. To check out the full video and to see my story, visit naplesnews.com.
I'm Harriet Heithaus, arts and entertainment writer for the Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com. While this may not be arts, it's certainly entertainment. Hairless pets seem perfect for Florida, but you don't find many down here, and that's because they're like no other animals around. Meet some local hairless pets and their owners today in the Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com.
Hey everyone, Dave Osborn, Regional Features Editor. I just interviewed Kenny Wayne Shepherd. He's a phenomenal guitar player. He had a big hit a few years back called Blue on Black. He will be performing at the Southwest Florida Events Center on August the 12th. Look for my story on Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and this Friday is in the 239. You can also see my story at naplesnews.com. I'll see you soon.
Coming up, senior citizens going for gold and silver and bronze, and Olympic Games fit for retirees. That's ahead on Behind the Headlines.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full-service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida. And now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now 2 locations to serve you.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days, because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
Who wants to wait 4 long years? The Olympic Games take place every year at the Carlisle Naples Retirement Community. The gold medal events are handpicked for people in their golden years. When we got there, everyone was deep into bocce ball. The game's been around for years, dating back to 5200 BC. The rules are pretty straightforward. Roll your ball as close as you can to the Polino. It takes a mix of skill and strategy like most of the Senior Olympic Games. The 15th annual event includes a week's worth of competition, including Name That Tune, bowling, and more. And finally, this one comes to us from our USA Today Humankind team. It reinforces the healing power of touch, bringing in senior citizen volunteers to cuddle babies in the NICU. Something small and simple that leaves a huge impression.
Oh, another big yawn. I am rocking, cuddling, holding the babies up here as a volunteer. A lot of times the parents can't get up here. We are here to help and aid in their development with interaction. You know, the nurses can't always be with them, so I get the good job of holding them and rocking them, just being with them. There's a little smile. There's a little smile. Yeah. It's a very wonderful job. They're all little babies and they need nurturing like any other baby. I don't look at it as them being sick. You know, I see the tubes and that, but I don't look at that. It's more of their faces and their smiles and how they react to you. In a selfish way, it's therapy. It's very rewarding to be able to see that. You know, when they go to sleep, you know that you're providing them some comfort in their pain or their struggles. And the neat thing is I get to see a lot of the kids because they are here for long periods of time, so I tend to hold the same ones every week and get to see them grow. I mean, I think that's what's neat too, and get to see them leave when they get well enough to go home. It's amazing though, they're fighters. They all are fighters.
We love having volunteers. It's a great help to parents who can't be here all the time due to work or other responsibilities at home, to know that someone's here rocking their baby, cuddling their baby, spending time reading to their baby, singing to their baby, holding them while they're sleeping. Human touch is very important, and with the parents here in the NICU, they can do skin to skin. Our volunteers don't do that, but still that touch is very important, just for their basic needs. The nurses are great. They're right there if anything were to happen, but they're a wealth of information. We make sure the volunteer knows who the nurse is, and when they first start volunteering here, we make sure that the nurses can give them information that they would need to know about the baby for safety.
It's the best job.
That's a wrap for this week. Thank you for stopping by. You can always catch up on past editions by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the homepage, scroll down to quick links and select behind the headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.